free.
It is officially 9:30. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And if the clerk could take the roll, please.
Commissioner Look.
Here.
Commissioner Brastad.
Here.
Commissioner Kordiak. Commissioner Silveraja.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
First item is tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's-
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have review of checks issued from Finance and Central Services and from Human Services. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Look, second by Commissioner Schulte. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Then we have approval of minutes from the following meetings, our January 5th statutory and organizational county board meeting, and our regular county board meeting. Is there a motion to approve items 6A and B?
I would move both.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And I'll abstain because I was not present. Motion carries. Next, we'll move on to chair's remarks. There are no chair's remarks for today, so we will move on to committee reports. The first is Management Committee report. Commissioner West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The items on the regular agenda are informational, but we have an additional item that is a restructure replacement in the Attorney's Office. It's a 1 FTE Office Support Assistant Grade 7 that's being restructured to a 1 FTE Technical Analyst Operations Coordinator Grade 13. And the basic reason they're doing this is that they just need more coverage in the area of technology because of the amount of increase in the use of it.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that completes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner West. We'll move on to Transportation Committee report. Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our Transportation Committee meeting was held on January 7th here at the Government Center. We have two action items for you, both under the Highway Department. The committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing the acquisition of right-of-way for Lake Drive access improvements from Naples to Lexington Avenue in the cities of Lexington, Circle Pines, and Blaine.
And I will offer the resolution. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Here.
Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you. Item 2, the committee recommends approval of a purchase of service agreement with SRF Consulting Group for the design of a railroad overpass on Hanson Boulevard in the city of Coon Rapids, and further authorize the chair of the county board and the county administrator to execute that agreement, subject to review by the county attorney as to form and legality.
Is there a motion to approve?
Oh, move it.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just a quick comment on this project, that we've had both bonding committees, the House and the Senate, out to look at the project, both in the aerial truck that Coon Rapids provided and on the ground. And it looks positive for this session that we may get funding from the state to finish off the 50% of the project. We've got, obviously, our money in, the city's money in, and CTIB, the County's Transit Improvement Board, has 30% of the money into this project. So it looks like it's a go. We'll hope that the legislature comes through. This will get our consultant on board to get some of the engineering done, and we'll start then with some right-of-way acquisition, and hopefully this will start construction in the spring of 17.
Fantastic. Well, I know that it's also listed in the governor's bonding proposal list as well, so definitely very positive. Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, the rest of my report is informational. There's some pretty good stuff there if you get a chance. Read it. Any questions, you can direct them to either myself or Doug Fisher. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Now we'll move on to Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. We have the regular report, and we also have a committee chair report. Commissioner Look.
Thank you, Madam. The Finance and Capital Improvements Committee met on January 19th. We came away with 2 action items, and we'll proceed into those. The first one is to adopt the Resolution 2016-F1 declaring the official intent of Anoka County to reimburse certain expenditures from the proceeds of bonds to be issued by the county. And folks will recall our phone system is dated, and we're nearing a point in which we're not going to have any more support on this. And we've had, as part of the discussion, a unified communication investment in the county here, and this is the bonds for that project. The initial cost estimates are $2.75 million. The resolution is to reimburse ourselves up to $4 million, depending on what the total cost comes in at.
Okay, is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution has been offered by Commissioner Schulte. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, the next item is adoption of Resolution 2016-F2, calling for a public hearing on capital improvement plan amendment and issuance and sale of not to exceed $9,250,000 general obligation capital improvement bonds. Sizable amount. This is going for the courts remodel project, jail improvement, specifically the locks replacement and the Coon Lake Park improvements.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution has been offered by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now on to the Finance and Capital Improvements Committee Chair report.
Just going to locate that paperwork, Madam Chair. Okay. So the recommendation is the county board approve contract C 004845 for the completion of the video visitation project with Tariff Construction out of Eden Prairie for an amount not to exceed $278,500. This has been a project that the sheriff has been interested in completing in the jail. The current visitation is somewhat unsafe, and as some counties are going to this video visitation, it seems appropriate to get into that at this point. So this is coming, as I understand, out of the sheriff's budget.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Sure.
I would just comment that the contractor being used is one that's currently working in our courthouse facility and comes highly recommended by our staff.
Okay. Great. And I believe the lowest bidder as well, so certainly appreciate that. Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to Human Services Committee report. We met on January 19th. Under Community Health and Environmental Services, consider recommending the county board enter into the following statewide health improvement program shift subcontracts for healthy eating and active living activities from January 1st, 2016 through October 31st, 2016. And that is a contract with Anoka Hennepin School District in the amount of $40,000 and a contract with Spring Lake Park School District in the amount of $30,000. As you may recall, there's a requirement as part of the grant to work with the various school districts, and so we've just been kind of working through that process to bring this to fruition. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have consider recommending the county board submit a grant application to the Department of Human Services Child Safety and Permanency Division to work with community partners to identify needed support services to reduce disparities in child welfare for children of varying cultures. And appreciate the fact that staff saw this opportunity that was available and have been, it was kind of a short timeline and kind of pulled things together, and we're very quick to be able to bring this forward to us. So I would move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Under Behavioral Health, consider recommending the county board submit a partnership grant application to the Anoka County Children and Family Council in an amount of up to $50,000 to address traumatic experiences that affect children and their families, with the Children's Mental Health as the fiscal host, working with Columbia Heights School District as a collaborative partner, and Family Innovations as an additional partner. Is there a motion to
Move.
approve? Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Excuse me. Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Job Training Center, consider recommending the county board submit a competitive grant application to the Department of Employment and Economic Development's Minnesota Pathways to Prosperity Grant Program in the amount of $50,000 for outreach from March 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. And I will move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Motion carries. And finally, we have Resolution 2016 HS1, Economic Assistance Bills, and I'll offer that resolution. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. And then finally, Resolution 2016 HS2, accepting gifts for human services. And we always appreciate the generosity of folks within the community and businesses who see the needs and rise to meet those. So I'll offer that resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries, and that concludes my report. Moving on to Information Technology Committee Chair Report, Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have one action item. The chair recommends that the county board approve contract number C0004794 with Marco Group, Inc. for consulting and professional services related to technical project management in the amount of $57,600. Susan Breland is here. If anyone has any questions, this is just a kind of a continuation of a contract that we already had, and we did it for another 3-month period. I remember through March, I believe.
That is correct. Madam Chair, Commissioners, good morning. My name is Susan Vreeland. I'm the Director of Information Technology. We've got several large technology implementations taking place right now. The purpose of this contract is to allow for professional services to augment existing staff to get those projects done. This is an hourly rate contract, so if the work gets done before the end of March, we will not pay for any services not needed.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Is
I'll move it.
there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
And that ends my report, and thank you, Susan, for coming. I always believe in bringing the experts in these cases.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Gamache, and appreciate you taking on that additional role on the county board.
Thank you.
And being chair of the IT committee. Now we'll move on to Intergovernmental and Community Relations Committee report. Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first item is that the committee recommends the county board approve our 2016 Anoka County Legislative Platform. In the attachments, it's broken down by items that we're actively lobbying for, secondly, supporting with others, and then monitoring. We've been in discussion many times over these items. So that is our recommendation.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends the county board amend contract C0003647B with Dave Johnson of Faegre, Baker and Daniels to increase payment by an additional $5,000 per month for lobbying and legal services for the months of March, April, and May. And while this says it's an increase, it's actually the same contract and same agreement that we had last year. At the end of this term, or the end of this session, we will be updating his contract, so it really reflects more accurately.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the other items are informational.
Thank you, Commissioner Brassad. Now we will move on to Parks and Community Services Committee report. Commissioner Kordiak.
Madam Chair, thank you. I decided today I'd handle the easy ones and leave John helping carry the hard ones. The first three are regarding gifts that we have been extended to Anoka County Park Systems. One of them, if I can package them together if you don't object, one of them is at Bunker Hills Regional Park. One of them is a Wargo Nature Center, and the third one is the Rice Creek Chain of Lakes. These are individuals who had a interest, purpose, and need, desire to contribute to our parks. They're spread across our system. I guess it just goes to show you that people enjoy their parks, and we appreciate their contribution. Can I move items 1, 2, and 3, Madam Chair?
Okay, so Commissioner Kordiak has offered resolutions in items 1, 2, and 3. Is there further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Schulte.
I just want to call out Connexus Energy here. There's two very large donations, one annual that we received from them and one that was a special gift, sizable, at $25,000 is the annual gift, and I believe is it 20,000 was the second gift. So they're substantial, and they help our Heritage Lab and Wargo Nature Center succeed and excel at what they do. And thanking Connexus publicly is, and I know a number of you had an opportunity to attend their Board of Directors meeting and extend our thanks there. But again, I just think it's appropriate that we do it here.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. They certainly have been fantastic partners throughout the years, and we look forward to continuing that very positive relationship. And I actually ran into the new CEO the other day, and he, again, commented on just what a positive working relationship he was so happy to learn about, but was just very impressed. He said it was his first board meeting, and it's just something that he will never forget, is having the presentation about the Heritage Lab, and it really resonated with him as well. The Frogsicles. So if you have not had an opportunity to take a look at the Frogsicle video that our staff have done, it really is quite interesting, and he just was very appreciative and very impressed. So appreciate that. Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next
Thank you,
item.
Madam Chair. The third one, I think I'll ask John to carry. Neither are complicated or spread around the county. The last one actually deals with the recent contribution that we had from Connexus. So, John, if you can comment about item number 4 for us.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'm John Bondalindi, Division Manager for Parks and Community Services. This item is a joint powers agreement between Anoka County and the City of Circle Pines. As you may recall, the county this year is receiving a grant to reconstruct the Rice Creek North Regional Trail from the intersection of Lexington Avenue and County Road J all the way up to the Golden Lake Elementary School. That trail is about 30 years old, and it is in need of reconstruction, so we are using legacy funds for that project. Part of that network of trails in that area of Circle Pines also includes some local trail connections from the city street and park into our trail along that alignment. And we have been able to work with the City of Circle Pines to put together an agreement whereby they are also interested in using some of their local dollars to repair their trails at the same time that we're working on ours. So there's some economics of scale here, and we're happy to work with them. This joint powers agreement just lays out the terms of that relationship. The county will design, bid, construct the project, and the City of Circle Pines will reimburse us for their pro rata share of the project. So this is a good model, and it's one that we've used on other similar projects in the county.
I'll move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 5, John, Riverfront, my backyard.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Again, Commissioners, this particular item is a recommendation to move forward with a contract for design, engineering, and project management with Carlson McCain Company, which is officed in Lino Lakes. This is a project in Fridley. It's at Riverfront Regional Park. This park was built in the mid-1980s. Again, aging infrastructure, roadways, parking lots, signage, lighting, those kinds of elements need to be reconstructed in the park. This is a rather large project, so we did go out with an RFP for design services. We had a number of bidders on the project. Actually, I believe we had 9. Carlson McCain from Lino Lakes came in as the low bidder. They gave us a very competitive bid. This is a firm that Highways has also worked with. Our most recent experience in parks is on the design reconstruction of the roadway and parking lots at Monoman Park. They did a fabulous job with that, so we have a high level of confidence in them. The scope of this work that I just described includes all of those infrastructure pieces, but in addition to that, we're also looking at making some other enhancements to the park, specifically the addition of a disc golf course at the lower half of Riverfront Park. This is a master plan initiative that the board did approve in a master plan a few years ago. So we're excited to get that moving forward as well. That's a very popular activity with young adults and families, and even seniors are getting into it. We know from experience at Bunker Hills that that is a very popular venue and gives young adults an opportunity to get out and get some fresh air. So we think that'll add an element of interest to our picnic area and experiences that our church groups and other folks that reserve those facilities will have at Riverfront Park. There are 2 funding sources for this project. We've already received $950,000 in a fiscal year 16 legacy agreement with the state. We have another $950,000 that's being teed up for fiscal year 17 for this project. And in addition to that, we did reach out to the National Park Service, and they are contributing $160,000 towards the project. So we'll have a working budget of about $2 million for this, with no county dollars being invested. This is all grant funds.
I'll move it.
I'll second. Further discussion?
Just comment, Madam Chair, it's a 30-year-old park. It looks forward to some refreshing, and I look forward to some positive outcomes from that, so I'm glad to see it move forward.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Go ahead.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
Commissioners,
that one.
action item 6, your last action item today, is a request to enter into a domestic research agreement with the University of Minnesota to design and build learning kiosk teaching stations at the Heritage Lab. And just a moment ago, you approved a resolution with Conexus Energy for $20,000 contribution towards this project. I'd like to just give you a little bit of background on this. Through some contacts that I have with staff at the University of Minnesota College of Design and School of Architecture, we were able to reach out to Dr. John Kamasi, who is one of the professors there at the university who teaches a course in graduate architecture. And through conversations and discussions, we've put together a partnership with the University of Minnesota wherein that they would provide their graduate architecture program at no cost to Anoka County to spend the spring semester this year designing new teaching stations, learning kiosks at the Heritage Lab. And I might just remind the board that this is a site where we not only have the Outdoor Heritage Lab in the fall with about 3,000 kids from local schools, but the YMCA is also running Camp Heritage, and they have about 1,800 kids that they're projecting will be there for this summer. So it's a robust facility, and it does need some work. We would like to put these teaching stations in to facilitate all of the various programs and activities that go on there. This is a project that also has received a $60,000 legacy grant that you've already approved from the state. In addition to that, the donation from Conexus Energy is also being matched by the YMCA. They're also contributing $20,000. Under this agreement, the University of Minnesota is bringing forward $9,500 in alumni funds towards the project. And they've also been out in the metro area raising an awareness of the project, and they have donations already queued up from 3 different companies in the metro area for this project. We're excited to get moving on this, and this is the instrument, this domestic research agreement that you have before you this morning to do just that. So the spring months will be spent with the students, working closely with our staff and the Parks and Community Service Committee in the design process. And then when that's completed and we have selected the final designs, those same 13 graduate students will be employed by the University of Minnesota this summer to actually construct in modular form those different teaching stations at the University of Minnesota in a very modern facility they have there to do that kind of fabrication work. And then they'll be bringing out and assembling those on site during the last half of the summer. So we think this is a really great model of partnership. We already have 7 different entities involved in this partnership. We're anxious to get going. I know the students are anxious to roll up their sleeves and get to work. And we'll be seeing concept plans already coming to us at the March Parks and Community Services Committee meeting for consideration. So that's really kind of the background on it and where we're going with it for the students. It's a real-life experience, and they really want to have that. They're hungry for that experience. And for the county, it's a very economical and cost-effective way of conducting this project and getting the outcomes that we're looking for.
I'll move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair, I might just comment that the U of M didn't come to us, we went to them. I think that we and the staff recognize the opportunity there, and I give John a great deal of credit for that. I think it was a creative idea. It brings in some new talent. It brings in some young people. It brings in some creative ideas. There's a variety of different locational setups that we'd like to create. I think we're going to get some very interesting ideas. They generated some volunteer funding outside of Anoka County. We've got 3 sources that are coming to this. It benefits the Heritage Lab, which has gone on for a long time. The YMCA is now there. We really need some kiosk locations to set up and display and stand on and present and so on. So I think it will be very good for the site. And we should all be happy with the outcomes if we haven't had the opportunity to walk around the Heritage Lab. Many of us have. It's an interesting sight to see and entertains thousands throughout the year.
Commissioner Schulte.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to call out and thank not just John's staff for his work on this, but Tony's staff as well, Chris Carney's. If you can imagine what the U of M required for a contract for something like this, it's incredibly onerous, and Chris walked us through it really nice at the Parks meeting and made it understandable. So just wanted to call out them and thank both John's staff and Tony's staff.
Well, and I think that we also need to give credit where credit is due. I know that these relationships don't happen by accident. John was not at work. He was on his own personal time and ended up having a conversation with the professor about really what he does, and ended up identifying that this would be a great partnership. So appreciate John being passionate about the work that he does for our park system, and always having that in the forefront of his mind, and having those just casual discussions. It's amazing how that can lead to just some incredible partnerships. So I want to thank you, John, for your passion and your willingness to really share that, because without that, this project would not really be moving forward.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And if I could also thank Chris, I meant to do that in my comments and I failed to. She worked through a domestic research agreement, which is really what they use for doing biomedical research and those kinds of things. So there were a lot of little nuances and things that Chris had to work through, and she did a great job with it in a very timely fashion. And I really appreciate her efforts. Wanted to thank her as well.
Well, I think certainly can be a wonderful model and a great partnership opportunity, so thank you. There's no further discussion, a roll call vote.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, there are some information items. They're there for your review. They're pretty straightforward. That would then conclude my report.
Okay, moving on, Commissioner Kordiak, Property Records and Taxation Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Spring Lake Park is reaching toward a election activity in their jurisdiction. I think that we kind of routinely nowadays have engaged in school districts and using our electronic devices and capabilities, and they're willing to pay for those services. So this is a contract that we desire to have with Spring Lake Park, the subject of their future election services.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the next one is regarding an interest in, when working with Ham Lake to grant an easement across a piece of tax forfeit property. I don't know if we have a picture here, but it's a piece of property with a long, long road sitting on it that probably was built 30 years ago. I think we made some examination working with them. They saw the benefit of having an easement on their existing road, and while they are not acquiring the property, they're entitled to have an easement for their public needs and jurisdiction.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer that.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Brassad. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And the other items are for information purposes. That concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Okay, you're on again, Commissioner
You know-
Kordiak. Recycling and Resource Solutions Committee report.
Really should spread them out till I get kind of winded. Madam Chair, this item is brief. Though the discussion that we had, well, it was not. We had an interesting discussion talking regarding our compost and yard waste site. We recognize that we've operated that for many years for the benefit of our community. Probably not a service that we're forced to offer in this county, but we long recognize the benefits of doing that, and I forget how many years we have. We see the interest in expanding the organics opportunities. The state of Minnesota extended some dollars to Anoka County, which we have to utilize the purposes of promoting organics program. We wish you to embellish the site with some people that can bring their organics to that site. So part of this contract includes the organic piece. We had a relationship with a longtime vendor. We saw the benefit and need of going out and searching other opportunities. We were approached by OTI. Some of their principals, I think Rick and Greg are here today. They're flanked by my good old friend Louis DeMars, and hopefully you appreciate Louis' talents. I won't tell you how far back Lou and I go. But Madam Chair, this is pretty much the same basic operations of the site throughout the seasonal times that we have, greeting our many customers, weighing their loads and disposing of their loads, handling a variety of materials that are all tree-related. So they'll be selling compost, both screened and unscreened, and wood chips of various colors, and et cetera. And so while the circumstances may not change, the vendor would, and we look forward to working with them, and we find there are some clear cost savings with this new relationship. so I think everybody had a positive outcome with this, and I am happy to move it, Madam Chair.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Schulte. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries.
There's your 7, gentlemen, congratulations. Madam Chair, the remaining items are for information purposes only, and that would conclude this report.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Kordiak. Then item number 9 is to consider for informational purposes the chair appointment of Glenn Fuchs as the County Agricultural Inspector for 2016. And then number 10 is to consider Resolution 2016-10, the appointment of the County Agricultural Inspector. And I'll offer the resolution. Further discussion?
Madam Chair, it's an item that I reluctantly give up, but I'll accept that Mr. Fuchs will do a fine job.
Okay, is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it, ma'am.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And if there's nothing else to come before the county board, meeting is adjourned.